Gillette's ad, toxic masculinity, Dove's ad on real beauty, and Nike's latest ad on crazy are all examples of major international brands putting themselves into the everyday conversation. It's brand activism. But how genuine is it, and is it effective? AUT Senior Marketing Lecturer Jessica Vredenberg is here to discuss. Good morning.
Good morning. So
are these brands actually wanting to see some positive change in the world, or is this woke washing? They just want people to buy their stuff?
That is the question. I suppose it can be both. It depends how they execute it. So some research that I'm doing with some colleagues here in New Zealand and in Australia is looking at how messaging and practice aligns with the brands. So if they're simply messaging without any practice backing it up, you could argue that would be woke washing, that they're looking to benefit, in terms of making profit, in terms of, getting positive sentiment towards people's perceptions of the brand, but if they're not actually looking to make a difference. However, if they are backing it up with some sort of practice, then there could be sort of a middle ground where they are actually affecting some sort of positive social change, but also still making a profit at the end of the day.
Are you seeing that a lot of these major brands are backing up their statements?
Yes, it's kind of moving in that direction. There's some depth to that as well in terms of what we actually mean by backing up and by practice. A lot of what we're seeing, at least at this stage, say with Gillette, they were making donations, so that's sort of some indication that they are sort of walking the talk, they're backing it up. But I think as this trend continues, consumers are going to be looking for more than that. They're going to be looking more internally as well. So how does a company practice from an internal perspective actually reflect that? So are the company policies, if they're talking about, gender equality or marriage equality, how does that reflect internally within the company, as well as sort of those more surface level, practices like making donations?
Now, please tell me if I'm completely off the mark here, but I get a feeling that it might be counterproductive. If you're making women, say, feel better about themselves, like Dove are trying to and Nike are trying to, won't they buy less stuff?
So they're potentially putting themselves out of business with their proactive stances. Potentially. I think at the end of the day, consumers are looking more for brands that reflect their values. So if they're able to sort of speak to them on a level that reflects their values, they might still create that positive brand sentiment. Maybe you're right if they're sort of saying, well, then I don't need to wear makeup if I should just feel empowered. But it is sort of about that alignment with consumers who are increasingly, especially younger consumers, wanting to engage with brands that also reflect their personal values. So there could still be positive sentiment created even still.
Are there some brands out there who are getting this right?
There's been a few pretty good examples. I think the needle's going to keep moving as well on what we mean by getting it right. Every time we see it, there's slightly different reactions. Consumers are becoming a lot savvier. The responses we're seeing from consumers in terms of whether brands are doing it well or not, but essentially where there is good alignment between the cause that they get on board with and the brand. So if it makes sense to consumers, that could be an indication that they've done it right. Also making sure that it's not perceived as sort of appropriating a cause or trivializing in a way. We always kind of refer back to the Pepsi ad that sort of missed the mark in a few ways in terms of potentially trivializing the cause. The source, using Kendall Jenner, didn't really make sense, whereas, for example, with the Nike ads, using Kaepernick or Serena Williams to send the message, that makes more sense in terms of the brand and the cause itself.
Amazing. Thank you very much for your time this morning,
Thank you.
Dr. Jessica Vredenberg.
Thank you.